Hello, I'm Peter Fenrich. Welcome to Teaching Skills for Post-Secondary Educators. This video is based on Chapter 2, Systematic Instructional Design of my book, Practical Principles of Instructional Design. By the end of this presentation, you should be able to identify the instructional goal. Instructional goals are like non-specific learning outcomes that can be refined into specific measurable learning outcomes. Learning to speak conversational Spanish is an instructional goal. A specific measurable learning outcome for that goal could be to convert single nouns into plural nouns. Your institution may already have an instructional goal that you are required to use as a foundation for the material. If the instructional goal does not exist, first define the actual problem to ensure that you do not solve a symptom of the problem. For an example, an individual refuses to use a new software program because the program is too complicated. The symptom of refusing to use the software may be hiding the real problem, such as being too busy to spend the time needed to learn it. Take a moment to think about a situation, either work-related or personal, that you experienced where you observed someone who avoided talking about the actual problem. Pause the video, click play when you have thought of a situation. The situation you thought of could be related to fear of reprisals for speaking the truth, not wanting to hurt someone's feelings, protecting somebody, imagining there would be job losses, wanting things to stay exactly as they are. A needs assessment may be needed to identify an instructional goal. A needs assessment can be a valuable tool for gathering information, understanding potential users, consulting users, and ensuring involvement, ownership, and fewer surprises for affected individuals. Needs assessment tools and techniques include interviews, observations, surveys, group meetings, and a review of existing documentation. You will need to decide on the best ways to get accurate information, given limitations such as time and money. While conducting the needs assessment, avoid letting preconceived ideas, one idea, or too many ideas overly influence the instructional goal statement. What is something that you can do to help ensure you get accurate information? Pause the video, click play when you're ready to compare your thought to mine on the next slide. To get accurate information, you may need to compare information from a variety of sources. When the defined problem links to a lack of skills or knowledge, a possible solution could be an instructional intervention. Providing readily available information like a quick reference guide or online help, providing a job aid such as a page with a brief list of steps needed for a specific task, coaching and/or mentoring. This series of videos only addresses problems that can be solved through creating instructional materials. A needs assessment can result in a statement of the difference between what is and what should be, the difference between wants and needs, the skills and knowledge that optimal individuals have. How to bridge the gap between optimal workers and less accomplished workers, factors that can interfere with learning. Potential solutions to problems, ideas for meaningful examples, cases, problems, and questions for use in instructional material. The needs assessment statement should be written as a clear, concise instructional goal. Instructional goals can be written as a couple of words or be a full sentence. What are some instructional goals in your field of expertise? Pause the video. Click play when you're ready to compare your instructional goals to my samples on the next slide. Sample instructional goals include writing reports, repairing breaks, solving problems, assessing patients, predicting weather, building a roof, managing projects, investigating crimes, instructing students. Reflect back on what you have learned. Write down a description of an instructional goal and what you should do if your institution does not have instructional goals for your project. Pause the video. Click play when you're ready to compare what you have to my thoughts. Instructional goals are like non-specific learning outcomes that can be developed into specific measurable learning outcomes. If the instructional goal does not exist, define the actual problem. You have to be careful that you do not actually solve a symptom of a problem. Think back to what you have learned and write down what a needs assessment leads to, and tools and techniques that you can use when conducting needs assessments. Pause the video. Click play when you're ready to compare what you have to what I think. A needs assessment can enable you to identify the instructional goal. Needs assessment tools and techniques include interviews, observations, surveys, group meetings, and a review of existing documentation. Reflect on what you have learned and write down how you can increase the accuracy of a needs assessment. What types of problems need an instructional intervention? And characteristics of a needs assessment statement. Pause the video. Click play when you're ready to compare what you have to what I have. To increase the accuracy of a needs assessment, you may need information from a variety of sources. Define problems that link to a lack of skills or knowledge likely need an instructional intervention. The needs assessment statement should be a clear, concise instructional goal. You have completed the lesson. It might be time to take a break and do something you enjoy. The content in this presentation and the others in the series are based on my book. I wrote the book because post-secondary educators are hired for their content expertise. They often have little or no training in their profession of teaching. This interactive book aims to solve that problem by providing just-in-time learning in how to teach effectively. This book contains far more detail than is reasonable to provide in the presentations. If you would like the book, the link in my YouTube channel takes you to Amazon.